Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second best of 7 of the night. We just wrapped up with Shopify versus Starlight Twinkle. Did go the way of Shopify. They did claim victory, and now we are here with our final best of 7 of the season of the round robin group stage. We have a Team Liquid versus Team Vitality. Oh boy, here we go. We are jumping right in, and we do have our first lineup. It's going to be a TVT between Clem and Ryung. This is a rematch. Ryung has been known for being the Clem Crusher. He was dubbed the Clem Crusher back in the previous season of WTL, as he was the answer to the Clem problem. As Clem was on fire, this was post-stream Hack Atlanta, and oh my, we're just jumping right in. And in the bottom left-hand corner, or top left even, we have Clem. In the bottom right, we have Ryung. Now, it does look like we are playing this out via replays. Looks like our players were not able to play this out live. Does make sense because I believe at the time Clem was playing in a Stormgate tournament. I believe the tasteless Stormgate event did already conclude, but just in case it did go over time, I believe Clem was prioritizing that. So that does mean that he had to play this ahead of time with Ryung. Was the plan. Go, as we are going to be settling in. And again, Ryung, he is just a bit of a TVT specialist here. There's a reason why Solar and Maru, they attempted and failed to bring Clem down, and they had to rely upon Ryung time and time again to be the answer to the Clem problem, at least in the previous season of WTL. It's similar to Solar. If you remember, Solar did the same thing in Serral, where Solar was kind of the Serral Slayer in the previous season of WTL, the season before that. So Team Vitality, even though they have star players like Maru, they can always rely upon some of their other players to, you know, pull their weight, or pull their own weight as well, and to prove themselves. And we'll see if Clem can get his revenge. Now, what I will say is that in the lead up to this series, we actually have seen a lot of Clem versus Ryung in ESL Open Cups. ESL Open Cup Asia, in Kung Fu Cup as well. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, Clem and Ryung, they have been facing off week after week after week, and Clem has been looking more dominant. Clem has been getting his revenge, and over the past like 2-3 weeks, he has been able to take down Ryung time and time again in these online weekly tournaments. So even though Ryung in the previous season of WTL did flex his TVT, and it is his best matchup, Clem has been improving. Has been improving here in his own TVT. But now, we're going to be settling in. Our players going for their CCs. It looks like it was a Rax Expand out of Ryung, and meanwhile, Double Gas Opener out of Clem. Ryung being more economic, Clem being a little bit more tech-heavy with a faster factory into faster tech. So Clem getting to Hellions, getting into his Star Pro production. Meanwhile, Ryung still just chilling back at home, getting into Safety Marines, getting into his own factory. So Clem is going to be the aggressor here. We'll see what he can bring to the table. See what he can get done. Dipping into the natural. Does threaten the SCVs. Getting a Hellion volley up as well. Not bad. Well, as I say that, bleeds out the Reapers. The Hellion will survive and can pick off another Marine, but Ryung does pull them back. Nice control. Does juggle the Marines back and will maintain the high ground. Whew. Nice defense here by Ryung. Does hold. Does hold the line. Meanwhile, Clem backing up, getting into his own drop play. He's looking to get into his own Hellion or even Marine drop play initially. Ryung, interesting, he's still taking that more defensive role where he's skipping out on medevacs, he's skipping additional Cyclones as well as going for a faster tank, getting into Vikings. We spoke about this, I mean, we've spoken about this time and time again whenever we cast and cover Ryung's TVT, but typically in this matchup, Ryung, he's all about slowing the game down. He's all about flexing what he's best at, and that is positional play. Map awareness, map control, and positional play is the big strength of Ryung in TVT. Speaking of open up Viking, we'll chip away at the drop. Clem will dip in there. Third TC on the way. Bold move out of Ryung. Third CC's in production, within range, within vision here of Clem. But we do keep it safe and sound. And ooh, the medevac goes down. Massive pickoff. Ryung does catch the medevac. Does bring it down. Likewise following this up with Raven production. Ravens are on the way. And so far, Ryung doing well defending. Not just defending, but also getting away with a faster third CC. Working towards Stim. Thankfully, even though Ryung is defensive, and we have seen Ryung embrace mech, this time, not at all. It's going to be Biotank, thankfully. It's going to be Biotank out of Ryung. We're staying away from mech for now. Cyclone, nice lock on. We do get a lot of damage on that Raven. Oof. A lot of damage is dealt. Can back off and be repaired, but nice win for Clem nonetheless. This could be a nice win. Do have our add-on swaps going on. Ryung morphing in his third TC. Now, just because Ryung has a third TC faster than Clem doesn't mean that he can land it on location faster. It's going to be on Clem to deny it, to delay the expansion. That's why we do see an attempted move out of Clem. The goal here should be to delay while he gets his own base. And he's dancing with each other. Cyclones, they do lock on each other, and Clem is forced back. Oof. Barely does escape, but here comes the main army. And again, this shouldn't really be to break Ryung, it should just be to contain. To contain and get into our own third base. We're now sieging up, hoping that maybe Ryung moves out. So we set up a bit of a trap. Trap is set. Ryung chilling here in the tall grass. Doesn't overextend. We're calming down. And Clem, he doesn't keep pushing. He does pull away. Third base is now being taken by both players. Both players working towards 1-1. Stim. Eventually combat shields. And we're settling into the mid game. Calming down, we're settling in. Settling in, likewise, Clem behind this. Throwing down turrets, walling up. We're in for a long one. I can feel it already, Pappy. We're going to be here for a while. As the game is slowing down, sensor towers, missile turrets, you name it, we're working on it. Ryung is now being active. He's now breaking out from his shell, from his defenses. His double drop is spotted. Not the main army. Clem doesn't know what else is out there. Doesn't know exactly how much Ryung is moving out with. Now he's making his way in. We do disable the first tank, the second tank as well. We can stim forward. And Clem does have an opening. Now making a way towards the natural, but there's another tank. Oh, it barely does go down. We get 3 tank pickoffs. Clem with the air control is going to be able to shut down the medevacs at least. But what about the Marines? What about the ground army? As Ryung, it looks like he cannot gain much ground. Well, he wants the Raven. He gets one. Ooh, doesn't get the other. Nice pickoff. One Raven does fall. You can see Ryung slowly retreating. The Liberator has arrived. We take down the Marines. And Ryung has to reposition. Again, no Vikings for Ryung. He cannot contest against the Lib. Clem forces the on siege. Another Viking goes down. Ryung has done a great job so far, just picking off like 1 or 2 Vikings at a time. Allowing himself to eventually get into his own Viking production. He's not there yet, but can do so. Marines a civil, they focus on the lib. Liberator goes down. And behind this, Ryung is just containing. He will be expanding back at home. Clem does sneak out with a drop. Does sneak out, deny some mining time. Getting on the CC, forcing back reinforcements, but Ryung should be able to hold on, not without losing 2 SCVs. Ooh, and almost the base. Oh my god, it got very low. Yes, with the production, with the reinforcements, we shut down the medevac. We will eventually clean up that drop. Another Liberator does arrive. Ryung, can we focus it down? Ooh, it's going to cost us some Marines, but we do get it. Do barely get the lib. Meanwhile, Clem trading very efficiently across the map with that drop. Getting more Marines, and now Clemmy breaks out. He does get the disable and breaks down 1, 2, 3 of these tanks going to be falling. Tank line here for Ryung is still looking strong though. And Clem is bleeding out too many Marines. But this is still a much better trade for Clem. Takes down most of the tanks for the cost of Marines. Maintains his own tank count. Ryung did have the upgrade advantage. 2-2 still not done for Clem. 3-3 now on the horizon here for Ryung. That's to pull away. Consolidates his army, takes a moment to breathe. Moving out once again. Interesting that Ryung is still not making any Vikings, by the way. He's still just completely given up on air control. He's playing very similar to Bjorn, actually. Just mass marine tank. Very bio-heavy. It's not easy to make work. Oliveira recently did this as well against Spirit, if you recall. It was Oliveira versus Spirit last night in WTL, actually, in World Team League. Also playing very similarly to this. Thanks to Siege, and we do find a way in. Oh, attempt to at least. Clem is ready. Does defend. You can see Ryung, though, able to be the first to max out. Remember, a big reason for this is because of how marine heavy Ryung is. Almost called him Bjorn. It is playing very similar to Bjorn. He is very marine heavy. And there's a tech switch. Triple starport. 3 starports on the way. Is going to be for Mass Viking eventually. He's getting there. Tank a little bit too far forward. Bio army stimming in, tank goes down. We get on top of the tanks, and Ryung getting very ambitious here. Gets 2 tanks, just barely, taking advantage of the lack of Marines for Clem. We spoke about this again. Clem, he's got less Marines and more Vikings, and they can't really help against this Marine force. Ooh, that's a kill. That's a kill in the CC. The Liberators do siege up. But essentially, if there's ever a moment, if there's ever a window where there aren't enough tanks in position, then Ryung can take advantage of it. So do bleed off a lot of Marines. Okay, let's be careful. Both armies are maxed out. Both armies are maxed. Ryung catching reinforcements. Oh, tanks, they get caught on siege, and we go for the dive. We go for the kill. We get 1, we get 2, we get 3. 3 tanks are Raven, a 4th tank as well. Oh my god. Very efficient trades here for Ryung. Getting 4 tanks are Raven for just Marines. Behind this, his own tank line does stand strong. Reinforcements on the way. Catching out more tanks. And can we get every single tank? There's 1 left. 0-0. Oh my god. We clean up every single tank, and Clem is getting pulled apart. And Ryung, with these dives, he just pulls Clem apart. Time and time again, we have 2 tanks left over. And Ryung has no fear. He stims and he wins. Man with gun is too good, Pappy. It's too good. Now we have the tanks coming in. After the Marines have done all the heavy lifting. Like, now the tanks waddle in to seal the deal. We have control of the third base. GG gets called, and Ryung will take game number 1. Whew. GG. The TVT sniper. He's doing it again. Takes the first game. Very nicely done again. TVT is Ryung's best matchup. It is where he thrives the most. But what I will say is that this was a very different kind of Ryung. Usually Ryung is more positional based. And I mean, positioning was a big part of this. True mobility, though, was the big factor here, with no Vikings, with no Liberators, with instead doubling down on a heavier Marine army. Ryung was able to actually pull Clem apart, catch him off guard time and time again, catching 1, 2, 3 straight tanks, Liberators, Vikings as well. Very impressive stuff there out of Ryung. Not an easy way to play. And in the top right hand corner we have his opponent. We have Clem looking to bounce back. In the bottom left we have Ryung for Team Vitality. Here we go. Of course, Clem for Team Liquid. But again, this like active style, it's not easy just because in a head-on fight, Clem wins. In a head-on fight, Clem would have taken it here with the slow siege of tanks, but we didn't have a head-on fight. Time and time again, Ryung, he was just hitting the fringe bases here of Clem. Just hitting his sides, looking for a way in and pulling him apart. Just, yeah, like he was just fraying at the seams. And it is a very, very fine line that you have to cross there whenever you play that style. So impressive stuff there out of Ryung. Really impressive. Something that I didn't really expect out of him, out of all players. Out of Ryung. I mean, even Clem has played that style himself. It's a great effect, as you can imagine. But your army is very fragile. You're working with like a glass cannon, essentially. And we'll see if Ryung plays similarly or if he does switch things up. Meanwhile, shout out in the chat. Oh my god, to Totodish number 2, not number 1, but Totodish number 2. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. We do appreciate the support. Thank you so much for 2 months. Gracias, Papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the subscription. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy WTL. Here we go. The tuna rises. Este Yaku in the chat. Ay, ay, ay. The tuna does rise. So from here we're going to be settling in. Be calming down. Clem checking for proxies. He checks the linear third, triangular third as well. You can see Ryung doing the same. Both players checking each other, making sure there's no shenanigans going on. But we're loading into Alcyone. Now, earlier I did mention, like, and I was excited. I was like, oh, Stim, it's not mech. We're loading into Alcyone. This is not a bad map for mech. If we wanted to slow the game down and cut it in half and embrace a longer game, we'll see if Ryung does head in that direction. Or if Clem does as well. We have seen Clem mech it up. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Clem has embraced mech in the past. So we'll keep an eye on our players. Make sure they stay honest. Make sure. This time, our players are going to be mirroring each other. If you recall, last game, we had Ryung going for an economic opener and Clem going for a double gas, more tech-heavy opener instead. This time, we are mirroring each other. This time, we are mirroring each other. CCs are finishing up. Oh, sorry, my apologies. I say mirroring each other. This time, Clem was the one that went for a more economic opener. Meanwhile, Ryung went for a later expansion. Okay. So I should rephrase that. I should say that this time Clem is opening like Ryung and Ryung is opening like Clem. There you go. There you go. In that sense, mirroring. Meanwhile, Ryung going for his initial double drop, going for a double cyclone drop. Meanwhile, Clem has map control with the Zolnaga. Does have that map control. See, Ryung does slip across the map, does get into the mineral line. Uh-oh. Clem out of position. Yeah, Clem, he's out on the map. SCVs are going to be going down, and Clem has to commit. He's headed for the natural base of Ryung. And Ryung doesn't have enough to defend. Boys are being pulled away. Likewise, SCVs are falling. The boys have to be pulled. Nice juggling here out of Clem. Yeah, Chaos is ensuing workers are going down for both players. And workers are falling left and right. A lot more SCVs for Ryung, actually. But the Cyclones do bust in. They break into the main. Meanwhile, Clem stuck at the natural. We're getting more SCVs, but the tank has arrived, and Clem will hold. Whew. Clem will defend, Clem will hold on. And Clem gets 15 SCVs. Oh my god, Clem taking a massive economic lead. And Ryung is in trouble. Ryung is in trouble here. He's got a lot of catching up to do. Down almost 10 workers. Still just building out more tanks. Rebuilding his SCVs, working towards the interference matrix. Likewise, so is Clem. The less than 3 Toadish. And Clem is going for a third CC. Now, I'm curious. We can go one of two ways here. Either Ryung... Okay. I was going to say either Ryung tries to turtle to recover and gets his own third, or if he goes for a 2-base all-in. Third CC's on the way. Ryung is going to try to play this out instead. Bold move out of Ryung. Bold move. He's setting up for a longer game. Once again, both players moving out with their double drops. Once again, both players being active. Drop on the right, likewise a drop here on the left. Clem is patrolling with his Ravens. Meanwhile, not much in position in the natural base for Ryung to defend. Has a tank. Should delay the depot. Double drop in the main, but yeah, there's plenty to defend. Ryung is going to get shut down. Forced to cancel the depot. Ryung forced to boost out. Will eventually force this back. Those 2 SCVs. There's a depot. Really nice damage here out of Clem. And Ryung is still recovering. He's going to attempt to move out. Really nice draw play here out of Ryung. He does catch one of those Cyclones. Doesn't quite get the medevac. Almost. Casito. Let's got the medevac as well. Likewise, Clem taking his own third. And Ryung trying to catch him off guard. Shows the disables. Will we get all 3? We do get every single tank. We do get the disables off. Meanwhile, Ryung still has a tank going ham. And Ryung is barely breaking through, getting on top of the tanks. There's just not enough buffer, not enough support here from Clem. Oh my god. And the Vikings, they did not help enough. They landed a little bit too late. The tanks are being cleaned up, and Ryung, he breaks through. Oh my god. Gets 14 SCVs, gets every single tank, denies the third base. Very clutch move here out of Ryung. Was able to disable all the tanks. And he got a lot of extra tank volleys off as a result. As his tanks were still up and running, they were still firing. At least some of them. Oh god, is the base gonna go down? Up it is! That's a kill in the third TC. We killed the base. And we came with the production. Oh my god, Vikings going for the land, denying combat shields. Combat shields is denied. Likewise, Ryung slipping with the air control. Barely does have it. And GG gets called. There's just too much damage. And Ryung doesn't just take the first game. He even takes the 2-0. GG. Oh my god. Ryung, calm down. Ryung, he does pop off. He does take the 2-0 here. Again, Ryung is the Clem crusher and has been known to bring Clem down from time to time in WTL. But in the lead up to this event, Clem has been looking better. He has been claiming win after win over Ryung, so I am a little bit shocked. I am a little bit surprised here. Very impressive play here by Ryung to bounce back and to once again show us all why he is known for having some of the best, if not the best, TVT in the world. GG. GG, well played. Ryung does take it. And now we're getting ready for our next best of 2. Ooh, we're jumping into our TVP, and in the bottom left-hand corner, we have SKillous for Team Liquid. In the top right, we have Maru for Team Vitality. And they've got the new jerseys. If you're following our players on social media, then you would have seen the new jerseys for Team Vitality. They've got the new jerseys. They've got the offside logo in the back and the Vitality logo in the front. It's their new jerseys for EWC, for the Esports World Cup. It is really cool to see. As our players are settling in, and Team Vitality, they have a strong lead. Team Vitality, they are, of course, the champions of the previous season of World Team League. Meanwhile, Team Liquid are the runner-up. They are the runner-up for the last season of WTL. These are the top 2 teams of the league. And now they're facing off in the final week of WTL. Ooh, SKillous going for the gold. He's crazy. Okay. I see you. He's going for the gold base over on the other side. We don't see this too often against Terran, so I'm excited. I'm ready. SKillous, he's cooking. Let him cook, Papi. Let him cook. Let him cook, as for now we are going to be settling in. Maru's still a little bit in the dark as to what's going on. It's going to be on Maru to punish this base of SKillous, as SKillous is going to be spread thin between his own main and his natural. That's the big risk that SKillous is taking. Is a big risk. Maru, he's going to be moving out across the map. We'll be scouting, we'll be checking, we'll confirm the base being taken. So a nice scout here to Maru. We have the recall. Shield battery about to finish up. And can we pick off a probe? The shield battery is not done. Uh-oh. Shield battery is barely not done. We get 1 probe so far. We get, oh, barely a 2nd probe as well. 2 probe kills. Nicely done. Maru backs off. Maru does back off. Behind this, it was a double gas open out of Maru, going for a 1-1-1. Going for a proxy. Maru might respond with just a 1-base all-in. No expansion, no CC for Maru. I should have pointed that out as well. But it was double gas into a faster factory. I assumed factory into CC, but no, it's factory into starport. So Maru, he sees the greed of SKillous, and he's going for the all-in to punish the greed. It's going to be all or nothing. We're amassing Cyclones, Liberators on the way with the proxy starport. Oh boy, freedom is on the horizon here. It's on the way for Maru, and SKillous has no idea. SKillous is in the dark. He's more concerned about surviving, about stabilizing, less so about scouting. Adept does find the Cyclones. Adept gets shut down. And Maru, he's just rallying everything towards that gold. God, that Liberator, it's so close. No, we do have a shield battery. We have an overcharge as well, so we're trying to bait it out, ideally. The SCVs have arrived. They can repair. There's the overcharge. First Cyclone goes down. And Maru does overextend. First Cyclone does fall. The overcharge still putting in a lot of work. Is now running out. Stalker's being proactive, but we're still rallying out more Cyclones. Maru has not expanded. Maru's looking to end the game here and now. Oof. Liberator getting a shot off. Zoning away the army. We have the high ground. We pick up another Stalker. Yeah, 1 Stalker goes down. Another Stalker as well. Shield batteries, they finish up a little bit too late. Oh my god, and SKillous is losing too much. He bleeds out 3 Stalkers. Boys are being pulled once again to repair. And the shield batteries without overcharge, nah, they cannot handle this amount of DPS. Stalker coming in for a flank as well, but we have plenty of Cyclones left over. It's almost like the previous patch. Mass Cyclone and Liberator as well. Yeah, you cannot get away with the gold base. Not against Maru. Boys are being pulled. We have 3 Stalkers left. 3 Stalkers remaining. Down to 2. Down to almost 0. GG gets called and Maru takes the lead. Whew. GG, well played. Maru identifying the greed of SKillous and just shutting it down completely. Like, mate, you want to take the gold base against me? Oh, make sure you hydrate. Make sure. You want to rush into the gold against me? You're crazy, Papi. You're crazy. GG, well played. Ooh. And again, Maru will take it. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Now, as a reminder, Maru needs 1 win. He needs 1 game to close it out for Team Vitality. Meanwhile, SKillous needs to win this game to give his team a chance, to give Cure the opportunity to bring it back. Here we go. In the top left-hand corner, we have SKillous for Team Liquid. In the bottom right, Maru for Team Vitality. Here we go. Here we go. We have our TVP. We have our game 2. SKillous picking this map makes a lot of sense. It is a very defendable map on 4 bases. So I imagine SKillous wants to embrace a bit of a longer game and settle into the mid game as well. We'll see if he can, though. My eyes are going to be on Maru. Maru has been known to be quite assertive in this matchup. Isn't really one to just let a Protoss macro. He's always in your face. Not saying he's going to 1-base all in again, just saying that, you know, he's looking to be aggressive more often than not. Once again, double gas. Double gas opener out of Maru. Going for a faster factory. This time he should eventually expand. Ryung nickname is Tuna? Yes, yes. He's the Tuna Terran. Here we go. And SKillous is going to be checking that natural. Dipping into the main. We have a full wall off. SKillous is in the dark. So SKillous, I mean, in his mind, there might be a 1-base all-in on the way. True. Might be. Unlikely. But it is always a possibility, especially after game 1. Anything is possible. Anything is possible, as we do see Maru embracing that reactor. It's going to be Reaper. I mean, it could be Reaper Hellion. Straight up Reaper Hellion out of Maru. Could be for a reactor to Cyclones for an add-on swap. Could be getting into a Woodmine drop as well. Maru has options. He has options with this kind of opener. Meanwhile, from the side of SKillous, it's going to be a Stargate. Okay, bold move. Stargate opener from SKillous should be for Phoenixes to get map control. It's very mid-game oriented. This does mean that SKillous is going to be vulnerable early on to an earlier push. We'll see how aggressive Maru wants to be. As Maru does commit into the main. And, ooh, will be shut down by the pros. But does he scout? Does he see? That's the question. Checking the vision here, and Maru, show us. He does. He does see. He does confirm the Stargate. Big scout out of Maru. Back at home. Additional Cyclones. Cyclones are amassing. I'm loving the positioning of this Cyclone as well. He's ready to catch an Oracle or a Phoenix, ideally. Any stray unit. And we are going for drop play. Interesting. It's going to be the medevac, not the Viking. Medevac's on the way. This should be for drop play, of course, to move out across the map. Phoenix has arrived. Cyclone's in position. And we do get some hull damage. Nicely done by Maru. Doesn't kill the Phoenix, but does get some permanent damage on that initial Phoenix. See Maru trying to chase that Phoenix down. Is on the hunt. Likewise, more Cyclones behind this. A Viking production has begun. To get into as much anti-air as possible. Cyclones are spotted. SKillous is aware. Marines are on the way to reinforce as well. Maru hoping to try to drag the army out of position. Once again, nice volleys. The shield battery will finish up in time, and we will defend. Whew. We'll defend at least the natural. What about the third? Maru does rotate. Does rotate around. Oh, the Viking is not caught. Nice movement out of Maru. He gets on top of the base. Yeah, the Nexus is under fire. We force a cancel. Oh, there it is. Do force a cancel. Thankfully, no kill. The base goes down. And SKillous still up against the wall. Still under so much pressure. The overcharge is popped. With the help of the overcharge, we can hold. It's going to cost us some of these Phoenixes, but we do survive. Force back the main army. Third base being retaken. Behind this, Maru's expanding, getting a third CC. Third CC is on the way. Oh my god. As Maru, he's overstayed his welcome. He's going to get the hell out of here. Does pull away. Phoenixes should be able to punish this and catch a Cyclone. Oh, can we though? Maru very quick to respond. Hot pickup as well. Saves the Cyclones. We'll bleed out some Marines. We can afford to lose them. It's fine. It's man with gun. We can throw them away. Boys are being pulled to repair. We save the Cyclones. SKillous moving out across the map. We try to pick everything up. Boys are being pulled, and can SKillous break through? A lot of Stalkers are going down, but we're down to 3 Cyclones. We're going to get the Phoenixes. Most of the Phoenixes do go down. But this is a costly defense for Maru. It's going to cost him a lot of SCVs, but he has triple CC. He can afford this. And Maru holds. Or he's barely holding on. It does cost him 11 workers. But he survives. And again, with triple CCs, he can replace that quite quickly. He has mules, he has triple SCV production. Tanks are amassing. What I will say though is, in that defense, Maru did lose all of his Cyclones. As a result, he's going to be stuck at home. Maru, he wants to be active, he wants to be aggressive, but he can't be. Now we are going to be trapped back at home, forced to defend. Meanwhile, SKillous getting his third up and running and is embracing his tech. Because he knows he has map control, he's skipping warp ins, and we have a Forge, Twilight Council, Bay on the way. Colossus production on the horizon. You can see there's nothing back at home, but there's also nothing to punish SKillous. So he gets away with it. He's teching to his heart's content. And Maru has to bite his tongue. And just turtle up back at home. Getting into more of these tanks. Third CC attempted to be taken. We'll see if we can land it. I should be able to. Tank's looking a bit exposed. We do pull away in time. Oh my god, that was so close. The tank was one shot away from going down. And as Maru takes a third, SKillous takes a fourth. SKillous, he is holding his own. He's keeping up. He gets away with all this tech. He's getting a fourth base. And now we can start focusing on producing an army. Now, because of how many corners SKillous has been cutting, it does mean that Maru does have an army supply lead. Does currently have a larger army. And is moving out. But SKillous, he keeps up. Does engage the army. Maru pulling away. We're getting to our second Colossus. SKillous, I believe he set up a proxy gate across the map to harass the third base. To reinforce. We can see Maru rotating around. He wants to deny that fourth, if at all possible. Storm is being recharged. Tanks getting caught on siege. One tank goes down. We do get the disable. We stim in. We go for the dive, but we have a shield, but we have an overcharge as well. It barely will keep the Colossus alive. A very clutch overcharge. The disable means nothing. The Colossus does live. Maru trying to break through. That's unable to. Tanks have siege. He has the high ground. He is within range of the Nexus. And the Nexus taking a lot of damage. It's going to go down. And one more volley. The Nexus does fall. Just barely. SKillous trying to punish this. Does lift one of the tanks. But the other gets a lot of shots off. Raven goes down. Storm is done. And with the help of Storm, we break out. They shut down the main army. But the problem here is it did cost us the base. At the same time, 15 SCVs. SKillous, he's popping off. 15 SCVs at the same time did go down to the third base. The Zealot run by paying off. Does pay off. More Zealots trickling in. We have Zealots in the main as well. Maru being pulled apart. His economy taking a lot of damage. Earlier he could sustain some of this, but not anymore. He's losing far too much. 19 SCVs go down. 20 even. We still have Zealots in the main. Oh my god. And sure, SKillous may have not lost the Nexus, but it's worth it. Worth it. Especially if he gets 21 SCVs across the map. SKillous long distance mining wouldn't be opposed to double expanding. High Templar massing up more energy. We have plenty of storms. Now, SKillous doesn't really have much pushing power. We still only have one Colossus. So SKillous does need some reinforcements. But soon he can move out. Speaking of, he is. Scan reveals the main army. Maru is aware. Reinforcements on the way. There are 2 High Templar in the War Prism. The others are on the ground. It's going to be all about the EMPs. It's going to be all about those EMPs, and SKillous is pushing in. Yeah, Storm does run away the army. We get a decent EMP, but we have plenty more storms where that came from. And 2 more storms coming in. One Colossus goes down, and that was the final storm. And it looks like, is it barely enough? It's still so close. As 1 Colossus left, Vikings, they get on top of it. Can we save the Colossus? I don't think we can. So a very messy fight, but it looks like the ground army breaks down the third base. GG gets called, and SKillous, he fights back. He puts a point on the board. Let's go. GG, well played. SKillous able to punish the aggression of Maru, able to pop off with the Zealot run bites as well. Maru hyperfixated on his pushes, on his Solar. Cure is another pair to hide his builds, and here we go in the top left-hand corner. We have Cure for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have Solar for Team Vitality. Here we go. Again, Cure, I feel like for a lot of the Korean Terran players compared to Cure, I feel like a lot of them do get a lot more limelight. I'm referring to Byeon, I'm referring to Maru. They do get a lot more attention, even Gumiho as well. But Cure is an amazing player in his own right. He's not as, I would say, charismatic. He's not as social as some of these other players. So a lot of people do kind of gloss over him at times. But really, Cure, he is an amazing player, and I would favor him as well. Despite favoring him, I would favor him in a full series against Solar, but specifically in a best of 2, it's a different format. Anything can happen. Solar only needs 1 win. 1 game win is all Solar needs. So the pressure is on Cure. No missteps, no mistakes. Not allowed, not here. So we are settling in. But now, Cure going for his Racked Expand standard opener. It's going to be a standard opener out of Cure. And likewise, Solo going for a hatch gas pool. We're just going to be settling in. Settling in. Standard openers all around, nothing too crazy. I don't really expect anything too crazy out of these players. Don't really expect anything wild out of either Cure or Solar. Which is why I'm excited. We can embrace the mid-game, Pat. We can embrace it. Let's go. At least I hope so. As the Reaper has arrived, dancing with the Lings. Chipping away at the army behind this Cure, going for a third CC before Starport, economic opener. Very economic out of Cure. Third CC well underway. And so far, it looks like Cure is just opening up, not just economically, but with this, we should be seeing 3CC into Banshee. We'll keep an eye on a Cure to see if he goes into a Viking or a Liberator opener instead. As the Reaper does dance with the Queens, and Solar claims his third. Meanwhile, there's that Tech Lab on the racks, so we can go for an add-on swap into Banshee play. We are set up for it. And there's that add-on swap. So it's really safe play here out of Cure. With those Banshees, we can harass. We can, of course, shut down Roach play as well. We can keep up with Solar. As a Cure does test the waters, rotating back around. Solar just joining up. Still has yet to really confirm what's going on, but because of that, we should be playing a little bit safer here and getting our Queens in position. A little bit too early for Spores, but likewise, I'm sure on the horizon as well. As on into Side Delta. Side Delta, one of the more larger, more macro maps in the map pool. It is quite wide open, which can be a little bit difficult to really move out on as a result from the side of Terran, just because there are so many attack paths. The potential for surround is a little bit higher. As we see, Solo going for a lair first, and he does scout, he does confirm the researching Tech Lab. So Solar, he throws on the Spores, he's aware of the Cloaked Banshees. Likewise, opening up lair is going to be for a bit of a more tech-heavy style early on. I mean, I say that, a bit of a safer style to go for a Baling Nest into Baling Speed into delayed Evo Chamber upgrades. So Solar, he's laying his Evo Chambers in favor of what should be, again, Balings. And just being safe and secure. Meanwhile, the Hellions getting ready for a dive. They go in. Hellions, they do commit, but Lings are in position. Whew, just barely. Solar was ready for it. Hellions don't quite make it in. Solar defends. There's that Baling Nest for Solar. As we did mention, is typically lined up with the lair so we can rush into Baling Speed. And we should soon be seeing double Evo Chamber. If we skip double Evos, we could try to go into Muta play, but I don't think this is the best map for Mutas. It's not like Amphion, for example. Yeah, there are the Evo Chambers. Meanwhile, Banshees, they hit the main, they get 3 drone kills for now, not bad. Get 3 drones, and we threaten the third as well, getting another worker, another 2 drones even. 3, oh my god, he doesn't stop. 7 drone kills. Seven drones do go down. Very nice damage. The Banshees survive. They get out of there. And Solar is embracing his Ling Bane. So do bleed out one of those Banshees. Do bleed one off. Cure settling in. We should soon be moving out. In 30 or so seconds at around the 7-minute mark, Cure can move out with his bio tank. Ideally with 1-1. The armory is on the way. It's not quite done yet for the Hellbats. Not going to be a priority here for Cure. Meanwhile, Solar getting up to 4 bases, getting now a 5th on the way. Hydra production as well For now, just Ling Bane, and we'll see if Cure can break through. Clearing up a lot of creep. Creep is going to be cleared up. Armory not quite done, but the tank does siege. Tank does siege in time. Helion's in position to protect. Again, the Hellbats are going to be a little bit later, but hopefully they morph in soon. There we go. Hellbats now morphing in. Again, designed to protect those tanks. We pick up a queen. Meanwhile, Solar this entire time has been building up more Ling Bane. He's getting ready for a surround. Getting ready for the ideal moment. He pulls the trigger. Here we collapse in. Bailey's into the Hellbats. Ling's on top of the Marines. We get a full surround. We shut down the tank as well. It was just the one tank. And Solar, he shuts this down. Shuts down the main push. With that, Solar can now drone up. Can now tech into Hive. We'll get ready for Hive tech. Working towards Hydras. Double drop towards the south is going to clear up with quite a bit of creep. Is going to keep Solar busy. There's the Infestation Pits. We spoke about Hive Tech, and now Hive Tech is on the horizon. One Hydra does go down. And we barely get a second Hydra as well. Okay. Cure trading as efficiently as he can. But again, Solar can now drone, can now tech. Cure, his move outs aren't as committed anymore. We have drops instead. Drop play is upon us. Drop towards the left. Trying to catch a queen. Solar trying to fight off of creep here. It's not going to be easy. We get some decent Bailey connections. Half the Marines go down at the same time, drop into the main. Solar getting pulled apart. Cure is getting some damage, but not too much. It's 3 drones so far. Solar did pull away in time. Wasn't quite in position for this, but not that many Marines, to be fair. That many Marines to work with. So acceptable losses here for Solar. Has been acceptable. Hive is now being researched. 2-2 is on the way. We're looking to max out on Ling Bane Hydra. With the arrival of the Hive, we can get into Lurker Tech and Vipers. Before that does happen, Curie's getting ready for his second wave, his second push. Now with 3 tanks, with Widow Mines. Mass Marine. Does have a lot of potential with his move out. As long as he doesn't overextend. And we're clearing up a lot of creep, making our way towards that 4th base. Solar is taking into Lurkers. The Lunker Den, it's on the way. But it's not going to be ready in time for this fight. Vipers would have been beautiful here, but again, the Hive isn't done either. Solar just taking his time. Picking up some Marines. And he doesn't want to pull the trigger yet, but the base is taking a lot of damage. Oh. Yeah, the base is getting low. We have to pull the trigger. Mine shots going off. No big connections. We get on top of the tanks. Yeah, the tanks are cleaned up. The Widow Mine field as well. And we spoke about it before at the start of the game. Inside Delta, it is a little bit more open. Oh, massive connections on the Marines. It is more wide open, and it is, again, not as many choke points to make use of. It is harder to push out because of moments like this. Solar can collapse from multiple angles. Shuts down the main army. Dune drop towards the south, and Solar, he commits. He's going for the planetary, trading a base for a base. As this hatchery should fall, but so should the planetary. Solar races back to Viper. Oh my god. Calm down. Vipers have arrived. The Hive is done. We do snipe the base. Not a bad pickup. Solar forced to respond. Vibes is still gathering energy. Link's collapsing in, trying to force friendly fire. And Cure is forced back. Now, both players did lose bases, but Solar, he saved most of his drones. He's on 82 workers. Solar, he still has a good economy. But can he keep up with the movements of Cure? As he is going for a split push. Lurkers are on the way. But are we in position on the right-hand side? And we're rotating. We are rotating over. Oh, I gotta be rotating. Solar has maxed out. And his lurkers are already back at home. Okay, they defend the south. Link Runway hits the northern base. But that is not a planetary, that's a CC. A little bit greedy. Greedy maneuver here. Power bombs on the Medivacs. Mine shots. Oof. Not quite going off. We collapse on the Bio Army. Yeah, Solar, he's just shutting Cure down. Time and time again. Collapses on the Marines. Collapses on the Marauders. Solar still maxing out. And Cure just doesn't really have much momentum going his way. And soon Solar can once again threaten that base. Especially now that he knows that there's no planetary. Solar gonna be committing. Oh! Catching some ghosts. Ghost goes down. Solar gonna be responding, rotating everything around. Does rotate Nidus Swarm towards the north as well. Vision gonna be everywhere. Oh! The Nidus Swarm is gonna be shut down. We do manage to unload some of these lurkers. They hold their own. Trying to waddle away. Forcing a second scan. Solar being as annoying as possible. Getting a bit of breathing room. Investing into infestors. Infestors on the way for fungals. Again, this base still very out in the open. Especially now that the rocks have been knocked down. Rocks have fallen. We're trying to set up sensor towers, missile darts as well. Oh! Solar has to be careful. Has to respect this. Yeah, I do think we can collapse in, but Solar is being as careful as possible. He wants that fungal. Dark, is that you? The infestors, they're getting in position. They're getting ready. Ooh, nice mine shot. Solid Widowmine connection initially. Have a handful of Widowmines left over. The infestor ready for that fungal. We're waiting for the opportune moment, and here we're coming in! And we're trying to force the army to bunch up. Oh, Solar has to be careful. The infestor's still in position. Turret not quite going down. Solar, he's teasing us! Lurkers, the Nidus Swarm finally does finish. Lurkers getting in position. Ghost pulled away. Fury does manage to go for the nuclear across the map and does find some of these Vipers as well. Bit of miscontrol from Solar. Again, there's so much potential with that fungal growth, but... Oh no, he's scared! We weren't even looking for it, but the infestor goes down. No more fungal. We never arrived, Baku. Never did arrive. But Lings, it's the middle line, 14 SVs go down. We cripple the economy nonetheless. Solar didn't get what he wanted, but still gets damage done. And catching reinforcements as well. Came through the production, catching Widowmines. Ghosts as well, Lings, they flood in. The Hydras do have to get the hell out of here. These are going to be expensive losses for Solar. Does pull away. Ducklings, they did even burrow at the third base. Back up Infestor. Let's go. Once again, getting in position. The buggle! Oh, we connect! Yeah, this time we do connect. We lock down the army. And the Ling Baiting crashes on in. Oh my god. Massive connections. Kira gets caught out, and Solar, he is going to run away with this. He needed only one win in this series, and he's going to get it. Powerbomb does connect as well. Medevac's hitting low. The Hydras, they're looking a little bit exposed. Not going to be the best trade here for Solar. It's going to bleed out a lot of these Hydras. But behind this, Solar has a bank. Solar's remaxing. Nidustorm does finish. Lurkers have arrived. And Solar, he doesn't want to give up this position. He wants to keep going, wants to keep pushing. Oh my god. And it looks like he barely will. And GG gets called. Solar takes the game and will take the series for himself and for his team, for Team Vitality. Oh, there it is. GG, rocking the New Jersey, Papi. Rocking the New Jersey. Do love to see it. Looking to wrap up here. And we're jumping in, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. We have Cure for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have Solar for Team Vitality. Here we go. It all ends here. It all ends on Oceanborn. Again, as I did mention, we have seen a lot of late game on this map. We've seen a lot of split map scenarios, but even before that, the third and fourth base locations can be quite vulnerable, so Cure can try to get some momentum earlier on. We'll see what his plan is going to be. Likewise, we'll see how Solar does adapt. Big relief for Vitality. What intense air. Big relief. I'm also curious how the standings are going to be looking like after the series as well. I mean, map score is definitely going to count. It's going to come into play to determine standings for the playoffs. But now, Hashgas Pool, standard opener out of Solar. Likewise, Rax expand out of Cure. He's not going for anything crazy like 2-Rax Reaper. He's not pulling a Beyond. We're easing our way in. Easing our way in. Oh, the drop. Let's go. Big fist bump. Exactly. I mean, again, relief, Papi, relief. The standings does matter. I mean, both Team Liquid and Team Vitality will make it into the playoffs, but standings will determine how many matches you have to play during the playoff weekend. And that can really wear down your players. Having an intense weekend like that, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the less matches you have to play, the more in form and in shape your players are going to be. We have seen like stamina and endurance has been a big factor in the playoffs with WTL. It can be a big endurance test. Can be big. Behind this, Cure going 3cc, 3rd CC before Starport. Economic opener. It's going to be an economic opener likewise. Oh my god. Reaper chipping away at the drone. Not quite able to fully delay the expansion. Not quite. Able to delay behind this. Interesting. This time not going for the add-on swap. Okay, so this is not the same build. It is 3cc before Starport, true, but last game, if you remember, it was a Banshee-based follow-up. This time, Viking. Viking into, I imagine, Liberator. Or into add-on. So Kira taking a bit of a different approach, which makes sense. Solar isn't really one to embrace roaches too often, so it does make sense to try to skip banshees and avoid them. Don't really require them here. A Viking will be hunting down these overlords, and there's the Liberator follow-up instead. So it is going to be Viking into Lib. Just an alternate way to harass the mineral lines to get across the map. The overlord is going to be shut down. And we do get eyes on the 1-1-1, but I believe we don't get close enough to scout the add-on. And we're just double checking. Yeah, we don't get close enough. So Solar's not fully aware of what's going on. Behind this, going for another lair opener. It's going to be lair into Banelings again, into Baneling speed. Just a very safe play out of Solar. Huge difference in WTL. To think Vitality had a lead all season, had a chance to drop to 4th today. Yeah, crazy, crazy. Oh, speaking of roaches, Solar is actually opening up roach. Meanwhile, Haley's going to go for the dive. Yeah, Queen's out of position. We go straight for the natural base. Oh, the barbecue is going to be real, and drones are getting roasted. Oh my god, they line up! No! Yeah, the drones, they do line up. 8 workers going to be going down, and 9 drones. That could have been a little bit worse, but there we go. 11 workers in total. And we scat the Roach Warren. Kira now aware of what's going on. Does scat, does confirm. 11 drone kills is okay, but that was 8 Hellions. And likewise, we lost map control. Now Solar can, of course, resaturate his bases, spread his creep, move out across the map. And Solar, can we get some counter damage? We can! SCV's under fire. Oh, we do respond in time. Good control here by Cure. Yeah, the Marines are getting it just in time, and we don't lose a single SCV. Nicely done. Meanwhile, that is an infestation bit. Okay, Solar, you have my attention. So it is going to be roaches initially, but that is +1 melee, not +1 range. So it looks like roaches are just for us as a supportive unit. Roaches into Ravagers, just a handful of them. Getting into +1 melee, Carapace, infestation bits on the way. I'm curious, I mean, that should be for a fast Hive, but I'm curious where we go from there. If we go into fast Vipers, Infestors, what is the plan? As the infestation bit is now done, Marines, they hit the 4th. Doing quite good. Oh, they do get a Queen. He does go down. You're threatening the bases. Hive is on the way, so it's not for Infestors. We're rushing into Hive. With melee upgrades, this could be for Ultras. Could be fast Ultras out of Solar, which again would be wild. So it does take quite some time for Ultras to really hit their final form with those upgrades. Crew is being active once again with another drop. Roach Ravager does respond. Could you hold? Do you hold the line? Nice, Hive is on the way. Sure, going for the double drop at the natural. Does catch Soul out of position once again. A drone's going to be going down. We get a Queen. We don't quite get many workers for the Queen. Mind Shock getting baited out. Oh my, both of them do. Oh my god. Both mines get wasted in the gas geyser. I don't think that was intentional, but very fortunate for Solar. Hatchery is denied. We deny the 5th. Force a cancel. Vipers are on the way. And yep, it is going to be for Ultras. So that was why we had such a fast infestation bit into the fast Hive. It is going to be for Ultra Tech. Bold move. Bold move here by Solar. Again, it takes a while for them to really get into the swing of things with kindness plating. On the way. Likewise. Ooh, that's a kill! That's a kill on the hatchery. Nice pick off here by Cure. He is pulling Solar apart. Once again, it denies the 5th. Clearing up a lot of creep. Barely any presence here for Solar whatsoever. But really, he's just building up and backing up for his final form for the Ultras. As the Ultra Cavern is done, but we do need Kindness Plating. Very good. Kindness Plating now starting up. Ultra production has begun. Can Bolt move here? By Solar. Getting to our Link Bane. Solar still has just very little vision, very little control of the map. And Cure once again stimming in, making sure there is no expansion. There is no base. Just bullying Solar here. He just wants a 5th. He just wants an expansion. Cure rotating around. Both players are maxed out. Solar spotting the main army. Is aware. Getting in position, and Solar, it looks like he should finally expand on the right-hand side. Cure isn't quite in position to deny it. I think there's a drop. But these Marines, can they bring the base down? They might, actually. It's getting to half HP. Lings, they respond just in time, and we will save the base, just barely. But yeah, Cure, he's locking on. He sees that hatchery, sees how low it is. He wants it. He wants it back. Likewise, jumping to the main. Gets a queen. Cure pulling back. He may not even need the army yet. He may just have to rely on that drop. It might be enough. He's going for it. It's close. Oh, it's so close, and we barely don't get it once again. Down to 53 HP. Oh my god. Hatchery is so low. Drop into the main, confirms the Ultra Cavern. If he hadn't already seen the Ultras. Viper's looking for the drop. We'll find it. And we'll finally shut it down. But honestly, sending one more drop in that direction with a handful of Marauders, with even 2 Marauders, that should be enough. We'll see though. We'll see if we can snipe that base. But now Solar, he's been able to strip map control away. He gets his 5th, now double expanding, getting a 6th and 7th at the same time. Yeah, you can see the pendulum swing in favor of Solar now that he has a maxed out army with Ultras. So Curie backs off, he's playing more defensively. Turtling up, we have CCs, planetaries, sensor towers, missile towers, it's all on the way. Can we get a ghost? We can! Ooh, we don't have detection. No detection, the ghosts, they do cloak just in time. While we delay some of the setup here. Delay a CC. Ultra did fall on the right hand side. Cure leaving his army a little bit idle, but nice splits. Does avoid the vials. Stimming on forward, chasing Solar down, catching a queen. Ooh, the Baileys don't quite connect. Momentum in favor of Cure. At the same time, we do bust into a mineral line. We do get some SCVs, not bad. We get a couple of workers. Likewise, Cure also getting drones here in the center of the map. 14 SCVs go down. But we only get 3 drones. Not the best trade for Cure. Still got a base though. Oh, likewise, the split for the Powerbomb Medivacs was late. Yeah, late split. Link Bane does roll in. The Ultras have arrived. We clean up the main army. And not enough here, not enough in position. Curie stuck around a little bit too long. And Solar, can he bring down these tanks? He wants them. And he will get them. The tanks go down. Solar chasing back Cure. Ooh, the Wilds do connect. SimCity was brutal. Solar bleeding out a lot of Ultras. We have 6 more Ultras on the way. And again, Solar has been able to resaturate or reestablish these bases. Get them up and running. But eventually want to get rid of this Roach Ravager. Now just getting knocked down, drop on the right-hand side, catching some drones. Workers are getting picked off. Oof. We basically get the mineral line. 10 drones go down. We get 10 workers, but at the same time, Solar, he wants that planetary. I guess a tank. Ling Being rolling on forward, catching a couple of ghosts. He won't break the defensive line of tanks, and he doesn't get the planetary. Uh-oh. We don't get the base. But that's 19 drone kills, and the hatchery itself is under fire. Oh, just a little bit more. Can we get it? The base. It's so low. It's so close. And it looks like we will barely save it. Once again, 69 HP. How does Solar do it? Like one more Marine or one Marauder is all we need, Cure. Those 2 bases, they should be dead. They barely survive. How does Solar keep getting away with it? Now, what I will say though is that Solar has been bleeding out a lot of his resources, a lot of his bank. He's been burning a lot of minerals, a lot of gas. He has no bank behind this. And Cure, upon saving that planetary, now his own economy is on par, if not greater than that of Solar. Cure finally has a 5th. He has a 5th base. Solar trying to take control of the center bases. Going for a run by. A quite committed run by, actually. Those are Ultras. Ultra slipping in between the bases, getting onto the planetary. Planetary goes down. Ooh, the ghosts are caught. Oh my god. Yeah, late response there from Cure. We're pushing in on the left hand side as well. Cure's attention is split. Tanks are falling. Medevacs as well. Corruptors, they can go almost unimpeded there. Unhindered. Yeah, they shut down every single medevac. And now we go into Broodlords. Now would be actually a really good time for that. Yeah, Ultras are in the middle lines, Lings as well. SCVs are going down. Do we have a Greater Spire? As there's barely any anti-air, we're relying on the ghosts. And there's only a handful of them. Yeah, gonna be reinforcing with more Lings. Lings, they break through the defensive line. They're getting on top of the tanks. And Corruptors, they just caustic spray down another base as well. Looks like Cure has been broken. Finally! It was close though. Again, there were so many opportunities for Cure as well when it came to sniping bases and sniping hatcheries. Barely did not get them. And that's 32 SCVs going down. Cure is getting pulled apart. This time he cannot keep up. That Ultra run by earlier did a lot actually. Catching the Ghost, distracting Cure, allowing for a better fight on the left-hand side. I believe the Corruptors did escape, but I don't think there's a Greater Spire. Otherwise we would see them. We would see Broodlords. Do you catch a Viper? Viper does fall. Now, despite the amount of damage that Solar just did, we actually still don't have the largest bank to work with. We lost a lot of supply there. Yeah, Solar, he needs another base. He needs another expansion. Solar has a good drone count, but the saturation is still lacking. Likewise, Cure also running out of money. He needs a space operational. Still very close, still very tense. If we had a Greater Spire, I would 100% favor Solar here. I think the Observer's pointing it out. Just regular Spire. Ooh, the Fungal does connect! Not bad. Raises the army. Drop coming in. Yo, Cure, he wants the bases! He's gonna get them this time. He gets one. Can he go for the other? The other's still very low from earlier. Look at how low that HP is on that hatchery. Curie picks up. Pushing on the left-hand side. Corruptors can't do much here. Not against this ground army. And we get another base. We get 2 hatcheries. We snipe 2 bases. Can we get all 3? We could. That 3rd hatchery on the top right is so low as well. Now, Solar has maxed out. But his economy is still not ideal. There we go. Greater Spire now on the way. We did miss that moment or that window to get into Broodlords. Now Cure is reestablishing himself, getting to more ghosts. More ghosts on the way. Solar once again setting up for a run by, but this time Cure is ready for it. You can see Cure set up with tanks, with better SimCity. The reinforcements are in position. Drop coming back in, going for the base. Up! Oh, we force a cancel. No kill. Solar does have that center right base up and running, thankfully. Rolling up the tank into tank fire. Does roll in. Bailings, they crash into the Hellbats. They take down some of the ghosts. There was one ghost going down. Oof. These are some rough trades. Bleed out ultras. Now we're getting to Broodlords, but I do think that we might have missed our win. We'll see. I mean, there's still no Vikings, and we still are heavily reliant here on ghosts. Broodlords, they still have potential. They have potential. As long as we have support on the ground, the Broodlords should be okay. We have Infestors. We have Fungals. We're okay. Nice snipes. Take down 2 Broods. Yeah, the tank line does stop the Infestors. But the tanks are going down. And here come the Infestor. Oh, so I'll take a tank shot. Fungal doesn't quite connect. Here comes the Link Bane. We're bleeding out a lot of these Broods. And Solar, he is gaining ground. We do at least save the Infestors. We get into the mineral line and SCVs are falling. So we did once. Nice Fungal as well. And we have 2 more. Yeah, the Chain Fungals on the Bio Army. But there's just barely not enough Link Bane on the ground. Still very close. Snipes going off. Taking down another Broodlord. We're down to 5. 5 Broodlords left. There's no transfuse. We got a 4th. 4 Broodlords remaining. We barely transfuse, but Curie pulls a trigger. He sends everything across the map. He's getting on top of the Broodlords, and they're falling one after the other. 3 Broodlords remaining. Just 3 left. Solar is being forced back, loses the base, catching reinforcements. Lings have potential. They get some of the tanks. Again, Cure, he has a better army. He has a larger army at the moment. The supply is lying right now. A lot of the supply that Solar has is in drones. Soup does lie, but we're getting some of the tanks. And the tanks are exposed. We clean up every single tank. A much better fight here for Solar. Catches the tanks, cleans up most of the bio, most of the ghosts. And Cure, he's down to mainly medevacs. That's the fight that Solar wanted. That's what he was looking for the entire game. He got it. Barely got the main army, and with that Cure, he cannot sustain these losses. He cannot sustain himself. Not after that. He's taking another base on the left-hand side. Ultra going for the orbital. Let's go. Catching some reinforcements. Is going to be shut down. Solar remaxing. Cure, you can see his production tab. It's empty. At this point, it's completely empty. He just doesn't have the economy anymore. He's down to 18 SCVs. He was all in earlier and he was gaining ground, but one bad fight is all it takes. One bad fight can be it. Fungal, a little bit lackluster, but it's fine. We get the mineral line. We deny mining. And you can see Curie scans on the right-hand side. He sees the mining base of Solar. He was unaware. He didn't know. He didn't know, Papi, until now. And GG gets called. He just cannot keep going, and Solar will take the series 2-0. Tying things up here, cleaning things up for his team, and securing his spot in the playoffs. They barely make it ahead of Twisted Fairy by 1 point. They have a 1-point lead over Twisted Fairy. That was enough. That was enough to allow them to make it in. Likewise, you can see the top 4 so close as well. You have 3 teams, Team Vitality, Basilisk, and Weibo Gaming, with a tied scoreline of 9-2, 9 wins and 2 losses all around. And it came down to the map scores. Came down to the map score to really differentiate between them. And again, Team Vitality will be number 1, and Bassus as number 2. And yeah, with that, GG. GG, well played. That wraps up this season. That wraps up the season of... Oh, I should switch scenes. The season of WTL of the round robin stage. Again, the playoffs will be in a couple of weeks. Make sure you mark your calendars and you're a part of it. It's going to be a very busy weekend. It's going to be a very intense weekend of StarCraft. It's going to be World Team League and the House Galactic Battle. Oh boy. That means very little sleep. That's what that means. Very little sleep is going to be available for us, Pappy. Oh god. Now, because it's going to be clashing, we do have to make a bit of a choice there. Oh boy. Yeah, it is a little bit sad. It is a little bit sad that both events will be overlapping with each other. I think we're gonna okay. I think we start with House Galactic Battle. We could do one of two things. We could either start with House, right, with the group stage, and then 4 hours into the House Galactic Battle, which should wrap up the group stage, should wrap it up. Then we can switch over to WTL. Then we can cast that, wrap up day 2 of WTL. That's the day that it clashes, day 2. And then by the time day 2 of WTL finishes, we can then switch over to the House Galactic Battle and wrap it up. We can wrap up the House Galactic Battle there. That is one option. But the problem there is that I believe we're going to be missing out on the quarterfinals of the House Galactic Battle, which is, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. It's a quarterfinals. We'll miss out. We'll catch the semis and the finals. Sure, we'll wrap it up, but we'll miss out on a big part of it. The other option is we could focus on House. For those who don't know what we're talking about, House Galactic Battle is an offline Polish LAN, and it's usually like a 10-hour cast. Like it's all day. It's like 10 to 12 hours. It's like a full day of StarCraft. Sometimes like 14 hours at most. But a full day of StarCraft. So it goes from morning to night, of course. It's a long event. But WTL is in the middle of it. It's in the middle of it, and I would love to cast both. The other option is that we can just focus on the House Galactic Battle and just spend the entire day casting it, and we could try to catch up on the playoffs of WTL. The next, we can't even do that though. Like the problem is that WTL is 3 days straight. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? 3 days straight of StarCraft. And the problem is that if I wanted to maybe do a replay cast of day 2 before day 3, I could do that. But we also have Sparking Tuna Cup. Like we have STC right before the final day of WTL. So we already have a second cast there for day 3. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We might okay, so we have two options. I think we either skip STC that week. We might have a we might have a weekend off of STC because of everything that's going on. Might have a week off of STC, so then we can do back-to-back WTL playoff broadcasts on day 3. Or we can like jump back and forth between House Galactic Battle and WTL and then back into House as well. And we have a month to prepare. We'll figure it out. we'll figure it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be in less than 24 hours. We're going to be casting ESL Open Cup Asia. So we have our next broadcast set up for us. So if you want some more Korean StarCraft and you want to feature players like Clem, like Trigger, Astray, and Future, they're also going to be a part of that as well. So make sure you tune in to ESL Asia. Likewise, we have ESL Americas on Tuesday. We have a Code for Giants Cup on Wednesday. And we have potentially Thursday and Friday off. So yeah, potentially those days off. If that's the case, we might have a show. Might have a show on one of those days to catch up and to bring back the podcast. We'll see. We have plans. We have plans to bring back the podcast, and with the end of WTL, we have some free days, so the podcast is now a viable option to bring it back as a kind of a weekly show, maybe bi-weekly show to catch up on all things StarCraft. So yeah, look forward to it. Do look forward to it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll be back tomorrow with ESL Asia. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. See you guys next time, Papi. Until then, ciao, ciao, hasta luego. Thanks for watching. All right, if you want to support us, of course, you can check us out on all the social medias, !socials in the chat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. Likewise, we have a Patreon. We have a Patreon set up to fund our tournaments. If you enjoy Sparkling Tuna Cup, Patreon is the place to be. Or if you want to support us in general, then Patreon is a nice way to help boost the prize pool of our tournaments and help us grow our events and maybe attract more attention and even just spread the love to the current player base of our tournaments as well. And that is what our Patreon is set up for. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.